Welcome to Worthy and Abundant, the podcast that is dedicated to teaching every single soul on this planet that you are worthy. You are worthy just for breathing. You are worthy of living a life you love. You are deserving of all of your desires. We aren't here to survive. We are here to thrive, and abundance is your birthright. I am so excited you are here. My name is Linda Brand. I am your coach. I am a certified life coach, an empowerment coach, a self-love expert, and an EFT practitioner. I am on a mission to teach every single soul on this planet that you are worthy of all of your desires, that you are enough, you are more than enough, and you can create anything you desire. You can be, do, and have anything. Your limitations are in your mind. You are worthy. Let's do this. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the show. And if you do, please take a moment to share, subscribe, rate, and review. Let's grow this community. Let's create a new planet together. Welcome back to Worthy and Abundant. I'm so glad you're here. I have an amazing special guest today I'm super excited about. She is a published author. She's written many books. She is a full-time writer, a retired certified hypnotherapist with a specialization in conversational hypnotherapy. As an intuitive empath, her writing is dedicated to educating, enlightening, and inspiring readers to find their most authentic selves and live their best lives. Karen aims to connect deeply with readers and teach them to dream big and embark on personal journeys that result in lives of love and gratitude. I am so excited to talk to Karen today because I am also an empath, and her website is Eternal Empath, and she's just a beautiful soul, and I'm super excited to share her with my audience. So welcome, Karen, to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and I could have gone on and on with your about you, but we'll just put that in the show notes, and let's get started with talking to you and asking you some beautiful questions. Do you want to share a little bit about your beginning and what inspired you to create Eternal Empath, and how has your own journey as an empath shaped your philosophy of healing and personal transformation?
Sure. And I bet you and I have some similarities in our beginnings. I was initially told I felt different from the moment I was like 5 and could remember. I didn't feel like anyone really understood me. And so I didn't know what to do with that. And so I would ask my family of origin, and they said, toughen up. You're too sensitive. Be someone that I wasn't. Like I wasn't good enough who I was. And I went feeling inadequate, not good enough, which is in the book You Are Not Alone, but I won't plug anymore.
That's okay.
But anyway, it does talk about how to get past that, because I learned how to get past that as I grew. Eventually, I did love my father a lot, though, even though he wasn't he loved sports and he loved the stock market. But I loved him because he was a sincere, wonderful human being, and that was okay.
That's beautiful.
So he passed, and that's when it was as if my chakra opened up in my head, and I would wake up every day at 3 a.m. and I would start writing every day by hand.
Like, how old were you at this point? Like, how recent was that?
Oh, like 11 years ago.
Okay.
I'm not old, but I mean, like my kids were grown.
Yeah. Yeah. So he passes away, and you just suddenly keep getting up in the middle of the night and you're writing. So you became a writer.
Yes. And I think it has a lot to do with my feeling. He's over there, my dad, in the poster, but it has a lot to do with the depth of my sorrow. I went through the cycle of life, and I had to just come out the other side, and writing was really good. And then I realized I could help others go through not just the journey of passing, but just as I started to learn more and more, the journey of the subconscious, the journey of loving yourself and self-worth, and the journey of accepting yourself as an authentic person.
Yeah.
Those
It's so,
all the books that are
yeah, that's so powerful. Were you spiritual prior to this?
not too much. Not too much. I was I believed in God, and with all my heart, but I wasn't too spiritual.
Okay. And then what was your career? Were you a hypnotherapist though prior to becoming an author, or was that all together?
I wasn't a hypnotherapist, but then I retired from that, and I wasn't that for too long, for 4 years. And before that, I was a mom of 4 kids.
Okay, stay-at-home mom, which is a very big job, by the way, and 4 children is a lot. So I had one, so I totally understand that's a full-time gig, a very important one. So as someone who's turned sensitivity into strength, what pivotal moment helped you see your sensitivity as a superpower instead of a challenge?
I would say when I was reading a book and it started to describe exactly who I was, and I started to realize that there are millions of people like me. I was not alone. Millions like you, and so many that are out there. And it gave me this sense of peace that I had never known. And then my husband and I went to a therapist together, and she said, "Your wife is highly sensitive and an empath." And she goes, "She can read the room, she can read people. This is what's going on." And then my husband understood. And when he understood, I felt like I accepted for the first time maybe in my life.
Wow. And like, how long had you been married at this point?
We've been married a long time, 45 years.
Oh,
At that point, that was about 10 years ago. So 30,
oh,
35.
wow. Okay. So he then was able to understand you better, even though you'd been married all those years still.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's very powerful.
It's very different than me. Very.
Yeah. Opposites attract typically, right? So why do you believe that self-love is foundational to healing and personal growth? I do as well, but I want to hear from you. I know that I share some solo episodes and I do some coaching myself, and I always talk about self-love, and I teach self-love and worthiness because we teach what we need. So I want to hear from you about your self-love, how it's foundational to healing and personal growth. And can you share a story from your own life of or your clients' journeys that illustrates this?
Yes, absolutely. So I feel like self-love and value, and I'm sure you do too, is the foundation for our lives, because we can't really love our anything if we don't feel that way about ourselves. And so many people don't. They are put down by whoever, and they stop. They think they have that fear of failure, or they have a fear of abandonment. Maybe they've been abandoned, but what all kinds of things happen. So that self-love and worthiness isn't there. So what I've done with conversational hypnotherapy to put them into a place where they could absorb affirmations. That's a story that it's really helped some of those clients of mine to understand they were amazing. And I could see the turn. I could see it after maybe 4 sessions. I could see that it went all the way down into their gut, the intuition portion, and they were feeling it deeply. But I don't do all the way. I like them to remember. I like people to remember. And also for me and for my family, it was very important because they had to learn. They always thought mom's different. They're not like me. And they are like, mom's different. And she's highly sensitive and she's this and that. And yeah, my kids weren't that way. And it might have been because I raised them where every week I would take them, and instead of asking about their homework and their schoolwork, I asked them how they felt about their week, how they felt about their friends. Were they sad? What made them sad? What was there an event? What made them happy? Was there something that was really great? And so I always went to the inside, and I kept the external out of raising them always.
Mm,
And so they
beautiful.
knew They knew it was different.
They knew that they were worthy, not for their external validation, because their mother gave them love, unconditional, and helped them through their own emotions. And that's so powerful and beautiful.
Thank you. I'm going to cry again. I remember those days.
That's so amazing, though. No, we need that, because it's just, I'm a very much a child and animal advocate, and I walk around my apartment community and see people with children and how they talk to their children. And I'm like, you're damaging in my mind. I try not to be judgmental. I really do. But like, I know the damage that can happen when you just say the wrong or speak, I don't want to say wrong, but criticize children or.
You're so right. The thing I would add is that I always felt if they had self-love and self-worth, then the choices they would make, I didn't have to worry about too much, because it would come from this place of inner confidence.
Yeah.
So I believed it. I don't know what made me believe that, but I always believed that in my heart.
Gosh, that's so good. Yeah. See, I didn't have that foundation. Like,
I didn't either.
yeah,
I didn't either.
I made a lot of mistakes as a teen and got in trouble, and just, I have such a story of overcoming. It's
Oh, tell me.
the wounded warrior. Pardon?
Do you want to talk about that a little?
Oh, just like I feel like I didn't have a lot of supervision as a young or teenager. We moved and I didn't fit in. So I got in with the wrong crowd, and it's in the book. I co-authored a book, so it's in there. It's all over. I'm very authentic. I share it. I used to carry shame for many years. So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, shame's the lowest vibration. And I had shame for many different reasons, thinking I wasn't good enough because I didn't have the college degree, or I wasn't anyway. But I got in with the wrong crowd, my dad worked a ton. He was a good man, but I didn't have a role, like a self-care role model. My mother didn't show that. My dad was not around a lot. So I ended up getting in trouble with drugs and the law, and just scarred for life, falling into a career that's real estate, which is sales, is a rejection business. I met my son's father in 92. I got my real estate license in 92 and 95. I met him, and like, he was better than the other men, but he wasn't a match. And we ended up having a child, and there was just, oh my goodness, so much. And then I had a debilitating illness in 11 and 12, and I was misdiagnosed by a bunch of doctors, and I had to be my own advocate because I'm an intuitive, and I figured it out, and I took myself to. So I have a long story of just constant overcoming, and then and then 3 years ago, I sold my home and moved across the country after being at an event in Miami with Gina DeVee. Do you know who Gina DeVee is? Probably. No. Okay. Anyway, she wrote a book called The Audacity to Be Queen, which is a powerful, really good book for women. I used to say it's required reading for every female on the planet. But anyway, so she's a coach and an author. And that event, I was in debt and struggling in my business. My son was graduating college soon. And long story short, I ended up going, because if nothing changes, and I ended up selling my house, moving to Florida with the dog, my new rescue dog. I've had dogs for 30 years, but anyway, he's been like truly a soul like dog, like my angel. And anyway, I started this coaching and then the podcast, and it's like everything that needed to be cleared, healed, and resolved showed up in my face. Who are you to teach? Who are you to coach? Anyway, so all the trauma, all the unresolved, it all showed up here in Florida. And I just had to like start working more on me, thinking I was here, but because I'd been hiring coaches and stuff, they were all spiritual. But anyway, so I'm condensing it all, and I want to talk to you, but yeah, it's a lot of.
Yeah. I'm glad you've overcome it. That's the main thing.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm still like reparenting myself. I'm still being my best friend, learning to love myself, learning to manifest, learning to rewire the subconscious, right? All of the things.
All of the things.
And you also work on the subconscious, or you have.
Always internal, not external.
Could you explain what subconscious loops are and how they influence our emotional experiences?
Okay. Why I think it's so important is because everyone's different.
Right.
So some people may need more of that than others, and that's okay. But for highly sensitive people, especially when we go to our subconscious, we can reframe events. We can go to our gut intuition. We can feel what the other person's feeling. It gives us a little bit of energy because we know. And if we're getting overwhelmed, say we're at a party or something like that, we excuse ourselves and then we'll reframe, that was your word, that situation, and center ourselves. And then we can say, why did that make me feel bad? Was that important to feel like that? This is from the subconscious. You're just talking to yourself, your inner self. And I have decided being introspective and using your subconscious is a superpower for you and for me. Even though I was ashamed of it for years, you talked about shame. Now I view it as a superpower, and everyone has a superpower. It doesn't matter if it's that or something else. Everyone has it.
Yeah. So you believe that 95% of our actions or inactions come from our programming, the subconscious programming from 0 to 7, when you're a sponge and a recorder and you're taking on all these energies and beliefs that aren't yours. Like I felt unworthy, or she didn't want to buy me those jeans because they're too expensive, or you don't get invited to whatever, or
Yeah.
I was abandoned at 5 years, locked out of the house in the pouring rain at 5 years old, banging on the door. Just things that like you remember. I happened to be listening to a podcast and she's, what's your earliest childhood memory? And I'm like, oh my God, mine was when I was attacked by a cat at 4 and locked out of the house at 5. And it's just, whoa, that's my earliest childhood memory. And then it comes back and you're like, whoa, I think I was abandoned long before. So it's all just awakening and awarenesses. Yeah. Very cool.
And it comes back in pieces, right? Little snippets of your life.
Yeah. In your view, what are the most important steps someone can take to transform emotional sensitivity into authentic strength and resilience? Yeah.
For the past 2 years, I've brought you inspiring stories and powerful insights to help you create a life and business you love living. But did you know that I also offer personalized coaching and dynamic workshops? If you're ready to move beyond dreaming and start building a life and business that truly lights you up, I'm here to help. Join me for transformative one-on-one coaching or dive into some vision workshops. Let's make your vision a reality and your life an adventure. Subscribe to the podcast for more and go to my website, lindabraincoach.com.
So when I'm feeling myself, I'll use myself as the example. So when I'm feeling highly sensitive and I'm starting to feel like I don't belong, I want to leave, and I do leave sometimes. If I'm overwhelmed, I will leave, and that's okay. It is okay.
I did that this morning. I was at a networking event and it was packed. I knew it was going to be, and I just didn't want to be there. And I had some other things to do anyway, but I made an appearance and I left because I couldn't. Too many people.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
That's a good thing. That's the right thing to do.
I don't beat myself up over it at all. It's more like, good for you, and you went.
Yes, you went, and then you knew when it was time for you to leave because you were overwhelmed. That's turning right there is your example of turning sensitivity into strength because you knew when to leave. You went there, but you are highly sensitive, but you went there and did it. I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you.
But then you left when you felt like you were overwhelmed by it. And that's strength. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because more and more as an adult, like I don't have to choose that, but I don't mind choosing. I like a calmer, peaceful place. Like it was a coffee networking and it was packed and there was a line and it was just too much. And I left and went to a different coffee shop, grabbed a coffee. It was so peaceful and quiet. And then went home to do work that I needed to do. But it's like, yeah.
What you did that was let yourself rest, relax, center, and happy. Because our ultimate goal is happiness.
And inner peace, right? It's happiness and inner peace and whatever that looks like. So I like to compare like when this one guy was saying, you need to have more fun. This is like a couple years back when I moved here. and he wanted to go out and whatever, and I wasn't attracted or interested in him. But the point is, I'm like, your fun and my fun could be very different. 10 years ago, maybe I felt the way he does, but now I enjoy sitting on the couch with the dog with a book. I'm still having fun. It's my fun.
Me too. Oh, same. It's
Yeah.
my favorite thing to do. But sometimes I push myself to turn that sensitivity into strength. Sometimes I'm just saying, I want peace at all costs. I want inner peace. And my husband does understand that I need to, he'll go without me a lot of times, and that's fine. Or I'll take my own car and leave when I need to. So that's another thing. Or I'll take a break from the party and come back to it once I've reframed the situation. But anyway, yeah, it's an important thing to do. That's turning sensitivity into strength right there when you're doing that. All of these things are turning your sensitivity into strength because you're not giving in to feeling bad about yourself. And that's the key.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you, what advice would you give someone struggling with perfectionism, especially those who feel pressured to suppress their authentic self?
I would say that the most important thing they can do is be congruent, right? Is have in their head, they know, okay, I really shouldn't be perfect because it's not going to be healthy for me. I think a lot of people know that now, but their heart is telling them, I need to be perfect because I was conditioned by society and my family that I have to be perfect.
Yes.
So what you have to do is put them in congruence. And once they're together in congruence, then you can become authentic. And that is authenticity. And part of that dynamic is gratitude. Once you have, it's really hard to not have self-love and not feel good about yourself. And that goes back to that entire conversation we just had. But it's really important when you have self-love and then you're grateful and you go to gratitude. I'm alive today. I'm breathing today. You go to what's called mindfulness, right? And you are enjoying exactly where you are at, what you're doing. And so with that piece and that activity of just understanding each phase of what you're doing, then I think that's a key to accepting perfection. But I have a book, my last book is called The Illusion of Perfection, because I've had an issue with friends who wanted to be perfect and they committed suicide. So just came to me in the night. One friend was so beautiful and so rich and so intelligent, and she didn't feel the inside.
Oh my God.
Inside she didn't feel it.
Oh my God.
And then a guy I know was famous, and everyone said, oh, he has everything. So I wanted to write this book, and I said in the beginning of the book, I said, once you read this book, you will never say to yourself, oh, but he was famous or she was rich. Those words will never, ever enter your thoughts again by the end of this book.
Oh my gosh. I love that. I want to talk about your books. I just have to say, when I moved here, I had a lot more money than I have at this moment in time. And I was 15 pounds or more lighter, and I still was in lack and scarcity. And I thought I had to lose weight. I didn't think I looked good. So I like to say this because when I look back at the pictures and I know how much and I'm today, and I love myself more today, and I accept myself more today, and I am in more abundance because of the gratitude and the work I've done on myself. But it's exactly what you said. Here you have these beautiful, wealthy, everything going for them, and then not feeling good. That is just, I'm so sorry for that, but it's so interesting. And that's what society and conditioning, going to schools, and like the perfectionist starts in the school because they're teaching the kids that you get rewarded for doing it right
way. And what is the right way?
Yeah. And everybody's different and they learn different. And like I said, before we hit record, I was telling you about the ADHD that I self-diagnosed, and it's, whoa, another piece of that puzzle as to why I'm different. and
Right.
why I learned differently. So let's talk about what inspired you you wrote 6 books, right?
Yep. And I've also it's not ready yet, but a seventh is on the way.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. What inspired it was first when my dad passed, I was very sad. And that started the whole learning about being hypnotherapist in the subconscious because I just had needed an outlet. And for me, the outlet's always been internal, very much. I'm not an external person. And that's just who I am. And it's very hard. It's hard for a lot of other people to understand, but not the people I've met on the podcast, it's so wonderful. I feel
Wonderful vehicle.
so seen, and it's just amazing. So I appreciate that very much.
I'm glad. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a gift too for me. Every this podcast, I've met so many amazing souls and just learned so much. Can I ask, so did you do hypnotherapy for yourself and you fell in love with it and then became a hypnotherapist? Is that what happened? Okay.
But I didn't do hypnotherapy where people were just put out. I did conversational hypnotherapy.
Okay. What is the difference? Can you share?
Yes, of course. So let's take meditation and affirmation. Okay. What I would do is put a client into a darkened room, maybe some soft kind of spiritual music and candles, even everything to just make them peaceful and take them down a little bit. We would just talk and talk softly and bring them to a different space because everything is fast and rushy outside, right? So once they were in that space of peace and protection, which I tried to give them in a nice, beautiful chair and all of it, a blanket, and then I would give them the affirmations they had asked me to give them, whatever it was. But mostly, guess what it came back to? Self-love, self-worth, self-esteem. And so I just really I hammered home on loving. You love and accept yourself. I would say to them, I know that you love and accept yourself. I know that you think that you're a beautiful person. I know that, and I would just go on and on, give them a lot of affirmations, and that would be my hypnotherapy. It was more, like I said, conversational. But
Okay. So would they fill out some kind of form or like how would they know what information?
10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes before it would only take 10 minutes. So 10 to 15 minutes before they told me what it was that they were having an issue with.
And then
Usually
okay.
boil down to feeling not worthy. And that's something that works.
Yeah, my podcast used to be called Empowered for years, and now I changed it to Worthy and Abundant because I recognize that worthiness is like the mental health crisis on the planet. That's literally the core to almost everything. And it's self-love. It's connected with the self-love piece, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And my son had 2 friends that killed themselves too within a year of each other. One was a senior at college and he was 22 and smart and good looking. And when it's horrible. They both were amazing boys and it's a horrible situation there. But I feel like society and probably good intentioned parents caused them to feel less than or something. Like
I agree.
yeah. And like I even used to feel so defining myself from my past or from my achievements, being in real estate, looking at all these other people doing more listings, more sales, and feeling bad about me when it's like I was this guitar being used as a planter when I'm supposed to be a teacher. You know what I mean?
I do totally. It's going to hit us. And that's when we have to use the lessons we've learned.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So let's see, talk about your books and let's see, what are some daily practices or habits you recommend for maintaining emotional balance and connecting with your inner truth?
You probably already know about earth grounding, right?
A little bit, yeah, standing outside with barefoot.
on the grass or in the ocean on the sand. You're in Florida, so
Yeah.
with anyone in Florida, they can go to the sand very easily and just feeling your feet and the energy of the earth, right? As it's moving around, and it gives you peace. It grounds you and centers you, and that's what we need a lot of, is that feeling of being centered. So that's in the book Up in the Air, by the way. So different techniques to get centered. And another one is, if you're someone like you and me, it's having energy fields. Like today, when you were at that coffee, just one thing you could do is keep those energy fields around you. And then I use another word, energy shields, to protect me from the energy fields. So I will use a clear energy shield, or purple. That's my favorite color. And I will have that, and it will protect me. It will help me. And that's what I use. There's different things you can do, different techniques.
Yeah. So you kind of say a prayer and ask to be protected and shielded, like from taking on negative energies or releasing, like leaking energy and different things. Yeah. That's beautiful. Do you have any special diet that you can, like, just curious, like vegan or vegetarian?
No, no, I don't.
Okay.
I try to eat healthy.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I try to eat healthy. I just sometimes have sensitivity to animal products, but I do recognize the
I
body.
do too.
You
I
do?
do too.
Yeah. You'll get a little depressed from eating meats, like after.
It's hard to go down. I don't like it all. If I order like a hamburger lately, I just can't eat it.
Yeah. Some more fish.
Yeah, fish, chicken. I'll eat chicken
Okay.
as long as it's cut up for me, and it's got to be like, I don't know, very strange.
Can you describe a time when embracing your empathic nature led you to an unexpected growth or success?
Yes, the books, absolutely, and meeting wonderful, lovely people like you.
Thank you. Tell us about your books. Name the books. They're all spiritual, right?
They are, you can call them spiritual, but they're also grounded in reality. Who Are You is Carl Jung, Myers-Briggs, and also the Myers-Briggs people took it over. So you get an idea, if you take that quiz, what your type might be. And then at the enneagrams that are in that book, and you get an idea. And I believe in astrology. I have that in there as well. And then I go into empaths and narcissists, which I know a lot about, unfortunately, and highly sensitive people. And let's just finish up. That's Who Are You? And then Dreamscapes is about the top 25 most common dreams we have. And it's a very important book, I think, because it goes into our subconscious first, and it takes what our dreams are from our subconscious, and then it takes the conscious and what we remember or what we might feel afterward from that dream. And I do an overview of how it works together, how the subconscious and the conscious works together to help you. And I talk about ways to help with that dream. And then the next one is You Are Not Alone. And that's my most personal book. And that is about what I went through growing up. And then it gets into, it ends very positive on passions and all the passions we can find in our lives and gratitude. But it does talk in the middle about birth order and about childhood trauma. And it talks about bullying, and then it goes into choices. And if we haven't been given that self-love early on, we might make the wrong choices. So I really want even younger people to read it, because I want them to make the right choices. So
which one is that? That's called You're Not Alone, or which one?
You're Not Alone. Yeah, You Are Not Alone.
Yeah.
That is the book that is kind of me.
Like an inspiring memoir.
Yes. Yes.
And then you have
Up in the Air. Uh-huh.
Okay.
And that one is philosophy psychology, and spirituality is in there. Spirituality is in You Are Not Alone. Right after I talk about the self-love and self-worth, I talk about spirituality and grace because it's extremely important to believe. I'm not saying you have to believe, but whatever you believe in, if whatever's higher power, something that you think is important,
Yeah.
then it's important to accept that you're not alone in this universe. And then know there will be many people like you, so you don't feel so alone.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And then you have a couple other ones.
Yeah, the last one's the illusion of perfection. And that's when to stop. To say to yourself, doesn't matter if my sales didn't work. It doesn't matter if someone thinks I'm really
Yeah.
out to lunch. And I'm just, and it teaches you how to stay okay and still stay loving yourself without needing to be perfect, because humans are imperfect. They are.
We're not perfect.
And no. And it really does share all of the ways and also about like people who, if they are famous or whatever, then they can go through this period where they can become an alcoholic or all kinds of things, because the expectations that are put on them are so high that, and then they have shame over that. So there's just a lot. That book is a lot about saying it's perfectly imperfect. That's the subtitle of it. And it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. We need to give ourselves grace, and we're doing the best we can. And it's kind of like that book, The Four Agreements, which is like a manual for life, where you do the best you can with however you're feeling that day. And we're not going to be on top every single day. It's just, it's about giving ourselves grace. And my word of the year for 2025 was ease.
I love it.
Yeah. So I definitely look at my calendar and think of what do I actually have to do and what do I get to do or choose to do. And I'm just giving myself so much more ease and just knowing it's okay. And I'm safe, and, I'm safe, and just, what's your astrology? What?
Enjoying that ease, enjoying that ease.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And just the older we get, like caring less and less what other people think. And so good.
Absolutely.
So what is your astrology, Karen? When is your birthday?
So my sun is in Libra. What is yours?
My sun is Aries.
We are the opposites, right?
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's good. Some of my best friends have been Aries. They're different than me.
Yeah.
The opposites attract, right? Yeah. At least in terms of you can be strong. You can be strong naturally, whereas a Libra is not quite as strong. Or a lot of Libras want a charm. They want to be liked. Very important. So you got to break out of that. An Aries warrior, the woman is what they call it. And it's a little easier for that. You still have the same traumas, the same tough times.
Yeah.
My moon is in Scorpio.
Okay. My moon is Virgo and rising is Taurus.
Okay. So your Virgo and your Taurus are both earth signs. So you already are pretty centered, I think, most of the time. It sounds like. And then with your sun sign, that's a really good combination, I think. My rising sign is, guess what? Aries.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Yeah. Do you have your human design? Do you know?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Oh, I'm a generator. Human design. You go to myhumandesign.com and it's your human design. It's the energy kind of version of astrology. It's very interesting. You're going to love it. So, yay, I introduced you to something new. So I'm a generator, and that makes total sense. But there's generator, projector, manifester, manifesting generator, and I think there's one other one I forgot. But you'll have to check that out. So
I will.
Let's see. In a world that often misunderstands empaths, what message do you want most to share with those on the path to living more worthy and abundant? Like, I don't know.
That's a perfect question. I think the path is not to completely isolate yourself, because that's not good. I can do that easily too. And then I know I want to break out of that. And so I do. I break out of the box that I put myself in. And then I try hard to do new things and feel like I've helped someone that day. As soon as I help other people, and I know I have, because they say I have, whatever I'm doing, wherever I am, then I feel your podcast name worthy and abundant when I help, when I give. That's for me, that's the key to me.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, because oftentimes the opposite of depression is purpose. And if you're down, go help someone else and you're going to feel so much better.
That's right.
That's amazing. Having authored so many books, which lessons from your latest work do you hope resonate the most with readers?
Oh, that one is, don't try to be perfect. Don't just by the end of the book, I think it'll give you a lot of information. Understand that trying to be perfect is an exercise in futility. No one's going to get there. You're going to keep trying and you're going to just be depressed. Instead, live in gratitude. Understand that every day is a gift that we have. And when we're breathing and when we're okay, and when the people we love are okay, then we need to stop there and give love to them, love to ourselves, and not make it into, I'm not worthy of that. All of that's gone. We're not dealing with that. That leads to that perfectionism. And it's not healthy.
No,
It's not healthy.
it's very unhealthy. And a lot of times, like, maybe someone wants to write a book, but they're a perfectionist. And it's like they're never going to freaking put anything out there because it always has to be, you know what I mean? This has been a beautiful conversation. Thank you so much. And
I agree.
Pardon?
I agree with you.
Yeah. And where would you like people to go to find everything and your books and everything?
It's under Karen Blaine on Amazon. And it's in paperback and it's in ebooks. Also, I'm doing some of I can't think of it right now. You know, when you hear it on your car, audio.
Audio.
I couldn't get an audio. I'm doing some audio books because a lot of people told me they'll listen to that. So I'm like, okay, so I'm doing that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I was looking at your website, Eternal Empath, and I saw like that you post some of your interviews. So we'll definitely, hopefully I'll send you the YouTube version of this.
Thank you. Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah.
This was nice.
This was amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to have you. And last question, do you have a gratitude practice that you do daily?
Yes. I wake up and I say, thank you, God, because I do believe in God. And I'll say, thank you, God. Right now, everything is still. There's nothing. I'm grateful. I'm not taking anything away from people in the world that are having a really tough time, but I can't read the news all the time because it's just, that's devastating to me. So I just go to gratitude quickly and I say, thank you, God. I appreciate everything that I have, my health, my family's health, the people I love, my friends, and mostly not mostly, but my dogs too.
Yeah, I love my dog too. I always thank God too for him. Yeah, I have been practicing gratitude since the health condition in 11 and 12. And so I have literally been doing gratitude for 13 years. And
that's wonderful.
I started lighting Shabbat candles at the same time. I'm Jewish. And are you Jewish?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's so funny. Small world. And so I had to fight it with everything medicinal, herbal, and spiritual, and gratitude. And gratitude will heal you. It really does. It's
so hard to be angry if you're grateful, right?
Yes. Yes. Amazing, Karen. Thank you so much. And I'm grateful to have met you. And we'll get this out very soon. And I'll let you know and share all the links to find you in the show notes.
Thank you so much. It was nice to talk to you.
You too.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. It means the world to me that you're here. I would love it if you took a moment to leave a review. It helps so much to grow this audience and get this message out to more amazing souls just like you. And if you know someone who you think would benefit from hearing this conversation, please share it with them. Let's keep spreading love, light, and empowerment. Remember, you are worthy, you are powerful, and abundance is your birthright. Until next time, keep shining, keep showing up for yourself, and keep living your most abundant life. Take care.